Hey everyone, welcome to our little lunchtime sneak peek into what it is that we do as body partners. I'm really excited today just to have like an informal conversation with Michelle, who is actually my upline in the business. So Michelle started and I signed up maybe about a year after she did. But today we're putting her on the hot seat. Usually she puts us on the hot seat and makes us always feel uncomfortable and challenges us. So now it is my turn to do that. And I have some questions that I'm going to ask Michelle that she does not have any idea what the questions are, but don't worry, they're not scary. So I'm not even going to really have you like introduce much about your story, Michelle, because I feel like we're going to dive into that. But just as a background for some people, Michelle has been a body partner for 10 years now. So she knows what she's doing. She's created a seven-figure business with this. Like, how amazing is that? She's hit some major milestones and accolades in this business, and we're very lucky to have her as our leader. So Michelle, when you started this 10 years ago, you were a successful owner of a salon and spa. You had employees, you had a full-time income, like an actual successful business. So what made you decide to become a body partner?
That is such a good question. And I just have to tell you guys, I am like sweating, like sweaty pits. Megan is so right. I'm usually the one challenging everyone else, and very rarely does anyone do this to me. So this is like a little out of my comfort zone. So just so everyone knows, we still have fears even 10 years later. So 10 years ago, yes, I had a huge Aveda salon and spa. I had about 13 employees, and I thought my dream at that time was to have multiple salon and spas all over Ontario, to be honest. Like that's really my vision, what my vision was for my life. But um, I was also extremely overweight. I was 215 pounds. And if you can imagine, like a woman that looks very put together, she has a successful business, but there was just this one piece of my life that I could never get figured out. And that was my weight. I just couldn't bring myself to exercise. I couldn't figure out healthy eating. And one night I found Beachbody, or Body now, but Beachbody workouts. Literally, as I was eating cheesies on the couch at 2 in the morning, an infomercial came on. And I started doing those workouts. I bought the DVDs, and that was my first kind of step into fitness. And then I just continued to use these programs. I got into their nutrition plans, and I really got into my health and wellness on my own. I just would continuously buy their programs, continuously lose like 10 pounds at a time. I got onto message boards that Beachbody had. So way back when, before there was coaches or any of the stuff that you see, there was these message boards that were called Beachbody message boards. And I would be on them for hours because you'd get tips from other people. So it felt like kind of this community. I can remember Shailene Johnson, she'd be in there giving you tips about her workout and nutrition. So anyways, I really kind of like loved that vibe. And one day out of the blue, I was scrolling Facebook at a stoplight. I was in London and I saw this post on Facebook. It was this cute little blonde thing. And she had a post saying, if you would like to make five figures by helping people with their health and fitness, comment below. I do not know why I commented below. Like it was destiny or something, because that was so unusual for me to do. I wasn't looking for a job. I wasn't looking for five figures. I already made great money. Like it was so weird, but I commented below and I was like, yeah, I would love some information. And we started chatting. She lived in New York. I had no idea who she was, but something inside of me, I just knew it was Beachbody. I don't know what or why, but I knew that's what she was going to say. And within 2 days, she kind of explained, well, this is what we do. Like we do Beachbody programs and we bring friends in and we do them together. And within 2 days, I signed up, and the rest is literally history. Like as every week progressed, I just loved it more and more. I remember the first time they paid me, like back then the checks came to the post office, like to our mailbox. I would run to the mailbox to get the check and I would leap home, like skip home and like say to my husband, I can't believe they're paying me for this. Like I would be doing this anyways and they're actually sending me money. And I fell in love with it. And I truthfully, 10 years later, I love it just as much as I did that first week.
Yeah, I love it. And I think there's a lot of women on our team who would like all of our stories are very different, but there's so many similarities to the fact that a lot of us feel like this just kind of like fell onto our laps. And it's like, how did like I can't even believe I'm doing something like this, but here we go. I think, we're not necessarily looking for something to add to our plate, right? As women, we are all busy, our plate is full. We're not like sitting there thinking, oh, I wish I had more to do every day or more responsibilities. But this seems to just kind of pop into your life when you need it, even though you don't necessarily know that you need it. Now, most people would, hear your story and be like, well, like why would you try to like create another business when you have a successful business? But you've gone on to close your salon and spa. So, will you just kind of like in a nutshell, when was that sort of moment that you were like, actually, I'd rather be doing this. This seems to have way more potential and can create more value in my life than running my successful salon and spa.
Yeah. So early on, I was very closed minded. And I'm going to just back up one step. I had no idea I was joining a network marketing company. I didn't even know what that meant. I remember having to ask Amy, who was that cute little blonde, what does MLM stand for? I had no clue about this stuff. So once she told me, I was like, whoa, I don't want to be part of one of those. I grew up with a dad, like I'd heard about those things and they were not good. So I was kind of closed minded to that kind of stuff. I just wanted to help other women. Like I was like, Amy, don't talk to me about that part. I just want to like share some workouts and encourage people and la di da. So that was great. She was great about that. But once you get into the community, you start seeing like all of a sudden you're surrounding yourself with some women and men, but in my case, women. Holy moly, they were creating these incredible businesses from home. They were so healthy and like thriving and really talking about things that I secretly loved, like mindset and self-improvement. But at the time, I had no one in my life that was talking like that. Like I would read some of those books like secretly, but no one else in my circle was. So once I got into this community, I'm like, these women are creating 7-figure businesses and they get to be home. So once I started seeing that, I was like, I don't really want to admit this, but that's what I want. Like my salon job, as successful as it was and bringing in tons of cash, I was working all the time. I was working 6 days a week till 8 o'clock at night. And at that time, I had a little 2-year-old at home. And I just thought, I'm going to miss everything about her life. I am not getting home until 8 o'clock at night. I work Saturdays. Literally, we're going to have one day as a family together. So the more I started helping people and my business, the Beachbody business grew, I was like, I think I can see this happening for me. And so I would say within 6 months, I was secretly saying, this is happening. I am going to close this salon. I didn't tell anyone, but in my brain, I'm like, oh yeah, I am making this happen. And within 2.5 years, I did. I closed the salon. I admitted it to everybody, and it just filled my. I jumped out of bed every morning to do this, not to do that. And my opinion was it wasn't fair to my salon, to my staff, to my clients to not be in love with what I was doing. I think I need to be in love with what I was doing, and Beachbody was it. So it was actually an easy decision in the end.
Yeah, and it's almost like you gave yourself permission to like admit that what you were doing wasn't actually what you wanted to be doing. And I think that that's like the magical thing that happens when you come into this business is you learn how to give yourself permission to ask yourself, what is it that I really want? It's interesting. Something came to mind that I haven't really ever talked about, but so I've been doing this for 9 years. You've been doing it for 10 years. And I remember when I first started and I would hear about stories like yours, right? Like women who had great jobs and great careers, great income, and then started doing Beachbody and started making enough of an income that they were able to leave their other job and just make this their full-time job. And my head went to thinking, but why wouldn't they just keep both sources of income? Like, why wouldn't they, like, I thought of myself, like, okay, I'm a nurse working almost full-time hours. That's a great income. Why would I ever leave that when I could also make 6 figures with Beachbody and then I could have two great incomes? But what I wasn't thinking about, and I guess what I wasn't giving myself permission to think about, was like quality of life. And what is it that I really want in life? And it's not money necessarily, it's to be living our life on our terms and waking up feeling excited and designing our days the way we want to. So it was the lifestyle that BODi can give you, which is like the real win in all of this. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one thing that you wish you knew as a beginner when you first started out?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like if you could go back and tell yourself something 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
Well, I'm actually pretty good at just taking action and not worrying too much about the outcome. But I also am a human being and I was nervous about what people thought. I was nervous about showing up on social media. I was nervous about people like bashing me behind my back because I made this decision. So I spent a little bit of time thinking about that. And at the end of the day, now I know, like, people, maybe they're going to talk about you for like 30 seconds and then they are on to their own life. Like, we are all just worried about ourselves. And we need to be doing things that fill our own cup. And that is something BODi has taught me. You just mentioned it. I've learned to be so aware of what I need and my family, what we need, and not worrying about what everyone else thinks about it. So that, of course, I think held me back from being like really, truly authentic and vulnerable and sharing my true story in the beginning because I was worried about what everyone in my small town was thinking. I spent so much time thinking about that instead of just sharing. And the more you just are honest, the more people that you're going to connect with that are just like you. And that, I swear, is the magic of this business. All of a sudden, you are surrounded with women that are like you, that want to like thrive and elevate. And it's just like a whole different feeling. So I think that would be the one thing. And that's kind of hard because fear just shows up all the time. Fear is something that we're never going to get rid of. But if you're not doing something like this because you're worried that you're not going to know how to do it, or you don't have any experience, or everyone's going to think you're crazy, you really have to try hard to push past that. Because if I had leaned more into those fears, I would have quit, and none of this would be possible. I would be still cutting people's hair and wanting to stab them with my scissors, right? Because I wouldn't have allowed myself to continue on. So I think that would be the one thing. Oh, we can't hear you.
I was muted. So when you started, you had a partner who was like a husband who was very supportive of this.
Oh,
Um, I had the complete opposite. I didn't have a spouse that was overly supportive of this, which does go to show you that that doesn't have to stop you from doing things. And this isn't my story to tell, but what do you think helped you to have your husband support you and understand this? Like how, sure, yes, he's a great guy, but was there anything that you did that maybe like for women who are like, oh, I don't think my husband would let me do this or want me to do this, or I need to ask permission. Can you just share a little bit about that?
I think that's such a great question, and my story is a little bit different. I had been married before, so I had been in another marriage that was not good. And I think I came into a second marriage with a little bit of maturity and just some lessons. So, one thing that I learned through my first marriage was communication is just so important. So, when this came up, I communicated everything with Terry right from the beginning. I said, I know this is ridiculous. I know I don't have time. So when this came into my life, I had my salon, I had a 2 year old, my husband had his own business with his family, and my dad was also, he had stage 4 cancer, and we were in the throes of trying to deal with that. I didn't have time to do this, but there's just something inside of me that said, I need to try this. And that's what I communicated with Terry from the beginning before I signed up. I said, just just let me do this for 6 months. And just if it's a totally ridiculous thing, I promise I'll just forget about it. But can you support me? I don't even know what that looks like. Like, I don't even know what that looks like right now to support me, but I'm asking you to support me because this feels really important to me right now. And I think that was the difference maker. I think a lot of women come into something like this and they hide it. I did the same thing with my parents. My dad was not in favor, you guys. Did not think this was a good idea. I swear the day he died, I was closing my salon and I don't know that he thought it was a good idea. Like, he didn't really get why it was so important, but I asked them to support me. Please, this is important to me. Give me 6 months and then we can talk again. Well, within 6 months, I was actually earning close to $1,000 a week with this business. So at that point, what's your husband going to say? Beyond bring home some more bacon, please. Like, that was easy. In 6 months, I had fallen in love with it. So it was never an issue. But I do think that was the game changer. I just asked for support. I explained why it was important and asked for 6 months to a year to try it. And I think that really was why he supported me. And he's a pretty easygoing guy, and he knows I'm going to do what I want anyway. So there's those elements too.
Yeah, there was definitely some factors that were helpful just in who he is as a person. But and I will say on the opposite side, if somebody is interested in doing this and their husband isn't maybe all that supportive, be open to communicating, explain why, like, put on your big girl pants and actually like stand up for what you want to do and communicate that and do what I did, and um, start seeing success because money talks. Money
Yeah.
talks. And when you can start bringing in an income each week and you can just sit back and let your spouse be like, oh, dang, like you're actually doing something with this, then you might get the support that you want. So that's the method I took. And 9 years later, he's very supportive of what I do, obviously. Okay, I have another question for you. What is your favorite part of being a body partner?
So over 10 years, there's been so many favorite parts. And I'm going to start with like a very selfish answer, and then I'll get to one that's a lot nicer. The selfish answer is just how much it's honestly carried me through 10 years of a lot of personal situations. My dad ended up passing away. I've had a lot of like family trauma. And I really don't know where I would be if I hadn't had the support that I have with my body community. So, our team, the friendships that I've made, but also the education and mindset, which I would not have done on my own. that really carried me through the deepest, darkest place I've ever been in my life. And I just don't know. I mean, we can't speculate really. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't been involved with BODi, but the thought of it is pretty scary. So that's the selfish part. The other selfish part is kind of obvious. Like, I'm here, I'm home, I get to work from home. Like, honestly, every day I still think about that. That when I do my hair at home and I'm still in like comfy clothes and my slippers, and I think about those days of getting ready for work at 7 in the morning and getting Delaney to like, I just am so grateful every day that I chose this path that allows me to do what I love every day. So that's the selfish part. What I also equally love is watching people like you, Megan, women that join this team or this business in general, and like their lives change. Like, I have watched women transform before my eyes. Like, the people they were when they sign up to the people they are 1 year, 2 year, 9 years later, it's mind blowing. And to think that I just had like the time, it's not because of me, but there's like this little piece that I'm like, wow, if I hadn't done this, this whole ripple effect wouldn't have happened for all of these women, whether it's bringing in extra money. Megan, when I think of you, your marriage is like, it's mind blowing what's happened with your relationship. I can think of so many stories, and every night I'm grateful for it. Like, I'm grateful I saw that random ad that literally changed my life and quite frankly hundreds of other lives with it.
Yeah, I mean, very well said. I think that when people are, either we approach them about this business opportunity or they see something and they're like, oh, yeah, tell me more. They think, like, oh, yeah, so it's working out, it's eating healthy, and it's selling product. And it's like, okay, that's like such a small piece to this, and you don't understand it until you're in it. And then once you're in it, you realize just how much you needed this in your life. And I do believe that all women need this in their life, not necessarily because they need the income or they need the health and fitness, but it's because you need an opportunity like this that literally forces you to grow, forces you to evolve, because you need that. We all need that. Like, growth is inevitable. You have to do it if you're going to really get anywhere in life. And I think that we tend to attract women on our team who do have like a vision for themselves and they do want more out of life, and they're feeling kind of stuck and stagnant, and they want to be able to have an impact and set goals and like do big things in their life, but they might be like, but I don't know how. Like, I'm just a nurse, I'm just a mom, I'm just a teacher. Like, I don't know. But this opportunity just is there for everyone and can and will completely change your life in one form of or another. And I always say to people, like, what do you have to lose? If there's any part of this that interests you, if you're still watching this, then you must be interested. So then just do it, because you might as well. Like, you have nothing to lose. Or you watch this and you're like, hell no, not for me. And that's cool too.
Mhm.
Um, but how we're going to end it now is we are just going to share just a couple slides, because if you are still watching this, you're probably like, okay, this sounds really cool, but like, what do you guys actually do? How do you actually earn a little bit of an income? So we just wanted to share a little bit more of like the nitty gritty information. This is just going to be super quick, so don't worry. We've all got things to do. Michelle, do you want to take it from here?
Sure. Can you see these?
I can. It's
Small.
like, yeah, like it's not in like
Sorry. Oh, here we go.
PowerPoint.
I had the wrong button. Beginner here. Okay.
Yes, that's better.
All right. So, yes, we just kind of want to give you like the basics of what this is. But what I love that Megan always says, and why I'm so grateful that I am sort of an action taker, and I know not everyone is like that. I know sometimes you really like to digest all the information. But one thing I'm so glad is like 10 years ago at a stoplight in London, I just said, what do I have to lose? Like nothing. I want to work out every day. I want to eat healthy and some more virtual friends. That was right up my alley because I'm an introvert. So I didn't really overthink it. I just said, well, I guess I can try it for a couple months and see what happens. And literally, that's what you should do if you have that nudge. Like I had this little nudge in my heart that was like, go for it, go for it. I didn't overthink that. I just went for it. But how do we actually generate additional income with the BODi partnership? Because we understand that that's why probably most of you are here. You like BODi already, you're already using it, or you're really thinking would be a great way for me to generate another stream of income. So basically, we share what we love and use all the time with our friends and family and use our social media channels. But the thing is, we're often always doing that, right? Like we're often always talking about the restaurant we just went to, or the light we just bought at Costco, or the sweatshirt we love, or the essential oils that we got from Sage, but we're not like getting compensated for it, which is fine. I don't feel like we need to get compensated for every single thing that we share. But also, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we take advantage of that opportunity? Not everything we share, we can take advantage of that. But being a BODi partner is a way that you can share what you love and what's working for you and earn income. So what I really want to challenge you to do or ask you to do is whoever sent you this recording, I want you to ask them their BODi story. You heard mine, but I've been around for 10 years. I would love for you to hear the story from the person that is sending you this recording or who invited you to come and listen, because their story is going to be different and it actually may resonate a little bit more with you. But what can you gain from becoming a BODi partner? An additional stream of income for expenses or extras, which at the beginning, it was just special little treats for me that BODi brought to my life, which was amazing. A way to earn money alongside a full-time career. I actually am the only one on our team that has left her career and does this full-time. Everyone else is still, even Megan, she's still nursing, she's still doing both. So it's not that your dream has to be the same as mine. You don't have to leave. That doesn't have to be your end goal at all. You're going to gain friendships and community. We've talked a lot about that today. We earn vacations and incentives, and that's often the thing that brings a lot of people to our team. These amazing 4-star vacations that we can go on and just amazing incentives that the company brings to our life. The ability to work from home, right? The ability to earn extra income from home. For me, it was like the ability to work from home full time, but for other people, it's the ability to have another stream of income coming in that you don't have to go and work at another spot. You actually get to do it at home. And something that I don't think people consider as much as they should is the skills that you learn when you start this business. The skills that you will learn with social media, with how to use the internet, your business skills and creative skills are actually pretty impressive. What you're given when the training you're given when you join. Imagine getting paid for your healthy habits. We talk about this a lot because the truth is we're getting paid to work out. We're getting paid to work on our nutrition, elevate our life with our mindset, and we're getting paid to be consistent. It is the best accountability partner you'll ever have. The fact that you're inspiring other people, sharing your journey is the best accountability. I mentioned that I was 215 pounds. I lost a huge amount of weight with BODi products. I can almost guarantee that I would have a lot of that back on if I wasn't a BODi partner. So how do we actually earn? This is just an example of one of our most popular packages. So when you share this with someone and they decide to take you up on the offer, they want to start using BODi, they want to try some of our supplements and get our whole system, you would make around $85 commission. So that's going to change depending on exchange rate and all of that. But the package is 257 Canadian, 219. You would earn around $85. We earn between 20 and 40% commission on everything we have to offer. So we have a slew of clean supplements, we have equipment, we have clothing, we have workouts, we have all the things, and they all have different levels of commission. Now, what I want to stress is this is just one example of how you earn income as a BODi partner. It's the first layer of our compensation plan. And this is where the network marketing industry is very, very different than maybe where you're working right now. It's certainly very different from what I was doing in my salon because there's multiple different ways to earn income with this opportunity. So there's actually 9 different ways to earn income, including several bonus opportunities, team cycles, and volume-based earnings. I'm not going to get into the details of that because it can get a little bit confusing. But what I want to stress is there's so much opportunity within the business model that you've maybe never even been introduced to. If you want specifics on that, just reach out to the person that invited you to watch this, and they can kind of explain a little bit deeper. Now, one thing that I think is important to know that there's a few different ways that people can join as a BODi partner. You don't have to necessarily have people always signing up and becoming a partner with you. People can join as a customer, a preferred customer, and a partner. There's always all these options to join us and meet you where you're at. So I think that's really important for people to understand. And that's really it. I mean, that's the base of how we earn. We help other people. We share what we love. You're never sharing anything that you're not using yourself and something that isn't helping you see results. And when you do that, it feels really authentic and truthful. And people can feel that kind of energy and they can see that you're having great results. And that's truly how my whole 7-figure business, insert income disclaimer or I'll get in trouble. I cannot just blab that around, but because it's important to know that it took a lot of work. I've worked hard, but it's been every day loving it and sharing something that I'm using every single day that has created this sort of income for me. So thank you guys. Thank you, Megan, for interviewing me and putting me on the hot spot. And if you have questions, just reach out to any of us. But at the end of the day, let's just go back to, if you're still watching this, it probably means that you want to try it. So just give it a shot. The one thing I can tell you about our community is you're never going to be by yourself. We give you all the training. You've got 2 people here, plus tons more that are doing this every single day. We have the steps of how to make this work, and you literally just follow the steps. And we've seen lots of people have success with this business and would love to have any of you join us. Do you have anything else, Megan?
No,
No.
that's all. You did great.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much, and hope to introduce you soon and meet you on our team. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Megan.